Bit of a late start because Jim had to go fucking be a dad.
It's early. It's supposed to be 9 and it's 8:54.
I'm fucking exhausted. I'm tired. Like that, the hour difference from the 8 p.m. start to the 9 p.m. I was just like, oh, it doesn't make any sense because this is normally when we would be ending the show. And I'm like, all right, here's plugs. And
Not yet.
I'm just sitting here for an hour waiting, watching Raw, just wondering why
get to watch Raw.
Any of it. Yeah, I did.
How did Raw go? How's Raw going right now?
It's not great. It's not great. Every year they do. Do you remember that This Is Your Life segment with The Rock?
Yes.
And Mankind. And Mankind brought The Rock's teachers out, and it's like, oh, you gave her the pie, and whatever, you took her, what all that shit. Strudel. And it's terrible. And it's just terrible shit. And for whatever reason, it worked that one time, I guess. I thought that one was pretty stupid. But for whatever reason, every year they'll do one. They don't advertise it that way, but it's just like, oh, they're doing it. Because last year they did one with Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax or something. And this year they did it with Sami Zayn and Bobby Lashley, where Sami Zayn brings out Bobby Lashley's sisters. And this is guys in drag. And yeah, Bobby Lashley's in WWE. And it sucks. It's terrible.
He's back.
The worst. Yeah. Vince is
Hi, Greg.
back to like, yeah, Bobby Lashley.
Look at that specimen.
So yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Watching Raw.
Last hour watching Raw, watching the Cavs game a little bit. How are you? How was your ball games? How was the boys?
It was good. They won. This is their
runs?
4th in a row. I think they won.
Gonna get a little ego.
Yeah, Teddy struck out 2, went 3 for 3, had an RBI double. He's pretty excited.
Jesus.
He got the game ball. He got the game ball at the end of the game.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, the coach is doing it this year.
Okay.
So he got the game ball.
I'm surprised, and this is such a hacky bit, but I'm surprised in this day and age that they do something like that. When instead, like everybody gets a game. I'm genuinely surprised that they single out one child to say you did a great job. I'm just surprised that they do it.
Right, and he doesn't repeat players, but
ever, or just not back
yet.
to back?
Not yet. I think this is like the 5th one he's given. I mean, or no, 4th. He doesn't give out a game ball when they lose, so this is the 4th one. I think they've only won 4 games.
He takes the ball back, just like Teddy. We lost today, so I'm going to need that.
Here's the ball. I'm going to need you to give it back to Haiti, where they made it.
You had an error, and we're teaching you about repercussions and consequences, so gonna need that game ball back.
The other coach made them run wind sprints after losing. Yeah, 7 and 8-year-olds. It's like, all right, line up, we're running.
Was cardio their problem?
No.
That's the only way I can see that.
Catching the ball, throwing the ball, hitting the ball, that was their problem. That's why they lost 6-0.
Oh, they should have tossed the ball around after the game. That sounds like
I was watching them toss the ball around before the game, warming up, and I was like, okay.
He was just like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, there was a lot of that, and I was the first base coach, and there was a lot of go, keep going. Yeah. Sand in the eyes. It was good. I've been working out every day. I take Saturdays off, and that's it.
Every day?
Every day. Just working out.
The shirts are going to get tighter on these podcasts.
That's the idea. I'll just start buying. If it doesn't work, I'll just start buying smaller shirts.
The webcam just keeps going lower and lower, and you're just, we don't even get your face anymore. We just get the guns.
I'm just going to be all puffed out. Yeah.
That's good. Do your push-ups, do your barbell curls, calisthenics.
I've got dumbbells.
Yoga.
No, I'm doing all weight training.
Pull-ups, get that little thing that you hook at the top of the door frame.
I don't like those.
I have one of those, but I'm afraid to use it because I don't want to break the wall.
Right? That's why I had one that screws into the door frame, and I use that all the time at our old house. But the ones that just hang in the frame, I've used them before, and they sort of like wobble a little bit. Like as you pull up and put weight on them, like it'll sort of Like, it's already secured in there, but then when you put a bunch of weight on it and pull up, it'll sort of, like, shift a little bit when you get up to the top. And I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like it moving.
Yeah, I don't
But I love
trust
pull-ups.
the science.
I love doing pull-ups and chin-ups. I just don't. I'll have one when we move, because that'll be our house, so I can secure one into the wall permanently.
You can fuck it all up, and it's okay. Just break things.
Because Hogan must pose.
Boom.
That's how they ended all those pay-per-views. And then, well, how does it got to end, Vince? Hogan must pose.
So here's how out of shape I obviously am. Greg in chat says, fire off some mountain climbers on air. He wants you to do mountain climbers. I don't even know what that is.
It's a video game.
I don't even know what that is. Oh, okay. Okay. Whew.
Show that chest. Ugh. We'll get kicked off of Facebook Live.
Yeah, I don't like where this is going. Big WWE news today. James, did you hear it? I'm sure you heard it. You listen to the fucking More Wrestling podcast.
Yeah, but they're historical. They're not. It's not like
not
breaking news. Dave Meltzer's breaking news. No, what happened?
SmackDown's going to Fox, the Fox network.
What is it on now? UPN?
USA. It's all on
is
USA.
It?
Yeah.
It's not on
they were on
WPWR Power 50.
They were on that. They were for a little bit. Then they were at USA, and it's all the same. But now it's going to Fox. Big deal. Big money deal. Vince is back there just with all the money. It was $1 billion deal. 5
Everybody's
years.
got a price.
And it's going to be on Fox. And I just hope that it's a little edgier now, that Fox is like, do something different than the Raw show. Because that's the Raw show, and we were the SmackDown show. So make it edgier.
It doesn't make sense
Fox.
that they'll make it edgier on Fox, but it's on cable now. But it's got to be PG.
I'm
not saying
USA
they can't do it edgier on Fox, but I don't know that they're not doing it now, and they can because it's on cable.
Yeah, they can, but they're not being pressured to.
Oh, you're hoping the network will be like, let's get back to some of them classic. I want to hear puppies.
Yeah, I mean, do some of that Seth MacFarlane shit. It worked for Seth, guys. It worked for Seth. The ratings aren't what we thought they would be. Let's Family Guy it up.
We need more tits. We need more CTE. I want people getting color every week.
Some swears.
Mm-hmm.
Do a swear. And it's going to be interesting. And this won't happen. But I'd love it if Fox kind of pushed them that way. And then Vince is like, all right, I got Fox telling me to get more risque, but he's still got Mattel. He's still got all the toy companies, got that money over there, and he's got a devil on his shoulder and an angel on the other shoulder. What's he gonna do? They're both money. He's gonna be in a tough spot.
It'll be interesting. Maybe it'll change, and it'll be on regular TV. I can watch it.
Yeah. So it's gonna be on Friday nights though, so nobody's gonna watch it.
Yeah. What time? When did you say that is? Oh, okay.
Friday at 7, I guess. I don't know. So I'm just happy that there's some sort of little change there, because they obviously try to separate brands and shit all the time. It's like you're obviously the same company. It's the same show. It's the same ramp.
Yeah.
There's just no difference.
Probably shot at the same day. It's the same channel. Do they do them all live now, or do they pre-tape SmackDown?
Those two are live.
Okay.
They'll pre-tape the other mini shows that nobody watches. That. Yeah, I want swears and double
Shotgun
juice
Saturday
every
night.
week, Greg. I want double juice. I want a blade in each hand.
You need more steroids.
Yeah, you're doing 205 live with all those little guys. Can we make those guys bigger?
Yeah. Can we
Right.
Can we do 305 live?
305. I was weighing myself, and I was coming in at 205, and I was like, oh, I couldn't be on 205 live. I've done it. I've made the weight limit to be a cruiserweight in the WWE.
There you go. It used to be what, 225 at kayfabe in WCW. I think it was like 225 or something.
I think that's what it was.
I'm like, those are still big fellas.
I'm just disappointed they never once did an angle that I'm aware of where a guy had to get on a scale. Like, I think you're too big. Look how jacked you are. Get on there. They never did that.
Because all the weights are fake. It would be hard to do, I guess.
I mean, you do it with a guy that's genuinely like 202 or something. Like, you do it beforehand. You do a couple of test scale runs.
Didn't they have
beforehand.
an angle like that with Jericho? Wasn't he like, oh, you're like 1 pound, like you got to come in at 225 to be a cruiserweight?
See, I think so. I do remember a scale, but that could have been Crash Holly because I don't remember anything well.
This was
grade school.
These were the days when Rey Mysterio's like kayfabe weight was 175 pounds. Like, there's no way he weighed 175. He was like 5'2".
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
He's fucking jacked now, though.
We've already talked so much wrestling that several people have killed themselves. But
Good.
that's fine.
Goodbye. Don't need them.
Good riddance.
Because it's about to get thicker here. JD says they're doing a weigh-in angle on 205 live now. Okay, that's good. They're doing the thing. I'm surprised it's taking this long. But I want to see it. I don't want him to just accuse somebody. I want that fucking zoom in
fat asses
on this scale. That's the readout when you step on it. It's just Scott Steiner.
Yeah, Steiner's got to be like the commissioner, the guy he's like the judge. He's the what would you call it? Like like the wrestling commissioner. Like, nope, can't do it with your fat asses.
I want him to be the 205 live like GM like enforcer. He's the one with the scale. It's like, you get your face. Yeah. It doesn't even matter if they're on the roster.
I'm not a cruiserweight. I don't care. You still got a fat ass.
Then you see Samoa Joe. They just lock eyes. Oh. So you sent me a text earlier out of the blue, and I'm sure it's because you were listening to one of your wrestling podcasts because you love this Bruce Pritchard podcast. And I'm going to get on it eventually.
Do. And I like the Jim Cornette one too.
Yeah, you love listening to these old fogies just weave a yarn. And I don't know if this was it related to that when you texted me that you don't like apron spots.
No, I was watching. It's sort of related. I was watching. I think it was AJ Styles, just like a compilation of moves, and I'm like, because I used to think the apron spots were pretty cool. But I'm like, psychologically, you're like admitting that it's easier to take the bump in the middle of the ring where most of the stuff usually happens. Like, I understand that we know that that's the harder part of the ring and it hurts more.
It's the hardest part of the ring, Jim.
Right. It's the hardest part of the ring. Well, why don't you do all the moves out there then? Or why don't you make the whole ring that hard? Kayfabe-wise, I don't get it.
Well, I mean, even like...
It's an indie thing, right? It had to be like an indie thing.
But like even the markiest marks, no. I mean, and they're not saying this is soft, this is hard. They're saying the middle is hard, but the sides are harder.
Even harder.
Yeah, I think that's more what they're going for. Which is funny because I don't think that's true technically, realistically in any way. I've been to many shows where like the stuffing and padding is just coming out of the apron on the sides, and I'm like, that looks fucking heavenly, to be honest with you. So
well, I've heard that if you bump wrong on the corner, you could really get messed up.
It's neat that the ring has like its own little rule set and mythology. Like, you don't headbutt a Samoan, and this is the hardest part of the ring. And I think it's cool that it has its own little rule set.
It's the main character, really, if you think about it. It's what separates it. I mean, it's like if you did it in you couldn't do it in any other environment and still have it be the same, I know they have gimmick matches where it's like they're all over the city, but really that ring is very important.
Yeah, which is why at least in WWE, I'm surprised they didn't make a big deal out of it when they changed. Like they had the LED boards on the side now. I was like you're changing the ring, and you're not you didn't make it They didn't draw any attention to it. They did the same thing with the turnbuckles now. They have the weird like plastic triangle thing around it, and it sounds like fucking death when a guy rams his shoulder through the pads and hits the the structure there, and some guys will stand on it so they can do their flippy shit, and it's cool. I like it a lot, but they never really addressed it or any sort of like rule thing. Like, well, Brock Lesnar broke his collarbone. You know, somebody got hurt, so we're making it some sort of like lore to it, and that's weird that they did it that way. But they can be lazy.
So what? They changed the turnbuckles?
No, like the posts, you know, like
okay.
the big blue post. It's not just a big blue post anymore. There's like a protective, like triangular plastic piece that's like a sleeve over it.
Over the post. Okay. I thought you were saying, for some reason I was picturing like, you know, like the boxing turnbuckles where it's just like one pad all the way down, or like some of the Japanese ones.
Yeah.
I'm like, they did that? What about the little puffy WWE turnbuckles? Covers.
Yeah, those are still the same. Those are still the same. I can't see them ever fucking with that.
No, I remember watching some old matches before they had those and being like, "What? This doesn't even feel right. I can't even get down with this. It doesn't look the same."
I hate when, and it used to be like this back in the day, or indie shows where they're just like they have the turnbuckle pads and it's just like loose and hanging, and I'm just like, I don't like that. Tighten that.
And the WCW ones always look like they just folded something in half over it.
Yeah. Yes. And there was like a little clip, like,
yeah, let's just fold it over here.
It was like somebody's elbow pad. Yeah. So you don't like the apron spots because you just think they should do all their moves there. But I would counter that with, fuck, these days they fucking do, Jim.
Yeah, but it's not as loud either. Like, it doesn't sound as cool there.
And a lot of times it doesn't look as cool. Sometimes it does, but a lot of times it's a little bit messy and it's unclear what happened. And did the guy giving the move get hurt more than the guy taking the move? And there's not a big noise because that's what, you know, the middle of the ring, boom, 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 right. You get all that good stuff. But we are seeing more of it. And once I do think it's because of the hardest part of the ring. So, you know, one of those blood feuds, you know, it's like, I'm going to fucking do a move to you on the outside of the ring. If you're, especially heels, heels love it. They love that outside. I want to hurt you with the hardest part of the ring. So I'm going to do. So I want to take a look at some of these apron spots. And I mean, you can tell me what you think of them. If they're a quality one or not. So the first one, and it'll take a couple seconds for you to catch up on the stream, I would imagine. Kind of doesn't really count because I assume you're talking about moves where they're both standing on the outside apron and they do a thing. This one here is just a power bomb.
See, that's rough. Like, he's just like smacking his head on the edge of it.
Yeah.
Was that Sami Zayn taking that?
Yeah, that was I think Kevin Owens' debut in NXT. He was like, "We're going to be friends," and then he came back and beat the shit out of him. And
I can't watch that anymore. His head's just like skipping off the edge. Yeah, I would sort of count that. It's anyone where a guy's like bumping right on the apron. Like, I've seen like a back suplex there.
Well, here's one. I'm going to get my screen so I know when you're seeing it. This is just a good old-fashioned Death Valley driver, almost like an attitude adjustment onto the outside apron there, because it's nice and flat.
I like the bounce off. It makes that one.
Yeah. See, I think, you know, their whole ring's like that. That's at New Japan.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind
of, those are the turnbuckle covers I'm talking about.
Yeah. But look, like if you look at the apron, it doesn't look comfortable. No. In any way.
No, it looks very firm. It's very firm, very tight.
Very, very tight. So here, let's get a new one here. Back to the WWE. The little lucha man. I forgot his name. Who's watching? So what's this guy's name? It's not Sin Cara. It's the other one. But he does a nice little spinning DDT. I think there's a place for these spots, especially if you're transitioning from an outside the ring, like walk and brawl, and you're getting back in the ring, and you say, you know, not so fast.
So I guess my problem is when the commentators address it and then have to say, well, that's the hardest part of the ring. just don't like that part. Like, so there's a softer part of the ring? Why would you do moves there?
That's where the winning takes place. This is, this is a risk.
There you go.
You knock that guy out.
The ring
risk. Let's just say you do a pile driver onto the outside apron, and you knock that guy out because you've done it on the hardest part of the ring, and he falls outside, and you get a count out. It's like you're not going to win the championship.
Yeah, you got to pick up dead weight and roll his ass in the ring.
So it's risk versus reward. And look at this fucking pile driver. Bam! I love it. I don't even know who these guys are. I just like the little turn that he does.
Little step, smash.
I've got a man's life in my hands.
You hope I do this right, or you're going to die.
If you are listening to the podcast, you are going to want to go to our Facebook page and watch the video, episode 20, because we're doing a little slideshow.
We're doing a little video presentation. We're just watching some apron
bumps. The next one.
Oh God, I haven't seen it kick in yet. I'm still seeing the little doot pile driver guy.
Hardest part of the ring you're about to see.
The hardest part of the ring.
I don't know what the end game it was for this maneuver.
Oh, what do we got? A brain. What was that supposed to be? The guy's back, just like his spine just skipped off the edge.
Was it? Yeah.
It almost looks like a brain buster, but instead of his head hitting anything, his like the small of his back just crushes on the corner of the apron.
He just kind of throws. He just kind of throws him. Yeah. And then that's probably better than committing to the brain buster part, because then you're just throwing him on his head and neck.
Yeah. Can you imagine if he landed on the back of his neck on that corner? Maybe that was what was called, and the guy like audible's like, fuck that. I ain't falling on my neck on that.
You see, I think that's one of the reasons that they do these spots just as performers, because they're going to get a pop, because there is that risk, getting tangled up in the ropes. Are they going to botch this? What move are they actually going to do? Is he going to counter it? So there is that edge of the seat aspect of watching it.
I think it's kind of like, when they came up with the X thing when someone's really hurt, but then they started doing that as a work. Mm-hmm. So like that's how I feel like this is. Like, we all know as fans that's you don't want to take a bump there if you don't have to. So you get a bigger pop for doing it. But it's sort of like you're taking away some of the mystique, I guess. I don't know. That's just how I feel somewhat. But so no one said it. No one mentioned it on a podcast at all. Now that you mention that, we're mentioning it here right now. So what is this? It's kind of dark.
I could see Jim Cornette fucking whining about it.
This one's kind of dark.
This is just a snapdragon suplex, and it doesn't look great. Oh, you watching it on your phone?
Yeah, it's like dark. I can't really. I mean, I can see.
It's a pixelated one as it is, but like this, I'm not a fan of the snapdragon suplex in general, because I'm sure it hurts probably both guys more than what the audience is going to give it, because it is so quick, and it's I don't know, it just doesn't track for me. So let's go to the next one. This is going to be another example of just, maybe you guys are brawling and you just happen to be on the outside apron, and as long as we're there, let me do this move. And I think I like that. But when the guys have to set up, like push you through the ropes, and then I'm going to climb through the ropes, and I'm going to kick you in the gut because I'm going to give you a pile driver, but you're actually going to back body drop.
See, now this one I like. This one's cool. It kind of... I can't tell who it is, but she's like jumping outside of the ring. It's kind of has a nice flow to it. It's not just like here, let me German suplex you on the apron. Mm-hmm. Like, why would you ever be in that predicament?
Yeah, it's a nice little slam.
This one's cool. Yeah, I like this.
And the next one's kind of good. It's kind of silly. I'm very curious about what we think of this next one here.
Okay,
in a couple of seconds. It looks good, but if it's if psychology is an issue for you, because
does it involve a blow-up doll?
No, it's just the damage is probably very minimal, but it looks cool.
It does look cool. It's sort of weird It's just sort of weird to see a spot where someone lands higher than they started.
It's like what you do with your kids. It's like, I'm going to
throwing you in the bed.
Boy onto the bed. Yeah.
It almost looks like it's played backwards.
It does.
Like he actually does a jumping, like flipping front bulldog off the apron.
And he sells it like death. Why are you selling that like that? I mean, sell it. I mean, give him a good, like, god damn. But not like you've been shot.
Man down. Oh, boy. Well, those are
the
cool.
next one. Oh, we're not done.
Oh, no. Okay. I wasn't keeping count.
I think it's more than 10 anyway. The next one's brutal.
It's actually 47 apron spots.
Well, my goal was like, am I even going to be able to find 10? Yes, I will.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
Oh, man.
Reverse Frankensteiner here on the first part of the ring.
I would not want to take that. I wouldn't want to give that either. Like, that guy barely makes it off the top of him alive.
Look at the guy giving it. Watch his shoulder.
Yeah, he like barely makes it off.
Yeah, his shoulder hits that mat.
Yikes.
Hardest part of the ring. Woo! I think there's still a couple more.
Back in the day, I remember going to a house show, and I remember popping when Razor Ramon body slammed. Actually, he got body slammed by Shawn Michaels on the concrete. They pulled up the blue pad.
Oh, the blue, yeah. When you take something that's established and you make it more dangerous, like, that's good. That's good psychology. Yeah. Let's take it from the safe spot to the danger zone.
Ooh.
Yeah, this little snapmare type of thing. I'm trying to see how much damage she.
I'd want to see what happened right before this. That would make it or break it for me. Like, how did you get out there? Like that other female one you showed me, it looked like it made some sense. Like something else was happening. But when it's just like, I'm gonna reverse Frankensteiner you out here.
Yeah,
it looks like a lot of work.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I like New Japan matches, because they'll do the exact same spot, but it will be so fast because they sell it in that real way. Where like, I have to do it before he catches his breath, or if he figures out what I'm trying to do. Right. So there's not a lot of time to set up. It's more dangerous because it's not like you got your footing, I got mine, 1, 2, 3. It's just I hope he remembers this spot because I'm doing it. And I'm doing it now.
Oh, I love GIFs. GIFs are the best.
Yeah. I think we might be coming here to maybe the last one. This is a classic. I actually like this one because
it's a classic.
The guy giving it, if you take a nice Lance Storm bump or you don't take a bump, it's psychologically it's good. And it's just a classic suplex on the outside apron.
Yeah,
boom, and it looks like
he really
death.
sells that well too. He just sort of falls. He doesn't really like take a nice bump onto the outside. He just like rolls and falls down.
Yeah, for whatever reason, that's a thing lately. Our brain busters on the outside apron. That's hot in 2018. It's hot, and I don't know why. Oh, we're not done. There's still one more.
Ooh, one more. Yeah, you guys got to tune into the video portion of this. Go to our Not Like This Facebook page and check out the video for this episode, because you're going to want to see these GIFs, and I'm calling it a GIF.
Some good GIFs.
I'm not saying GIF.
But this is one where it is determined by the setup.
Whoa.
And how long.
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah. See, once again, like, does this guy hit his fucking knee on the way down?
Yeah, that
the
looks
guy
rough.
giving it. Like, he fucking wipes out hard after that.
Yeah.
These guys, you know.
What would you even call that? It's almost like a scorpion death drop, but it's not.
I think of the one guy that I thought was Sin Cara, but I know he's not. I think that's his finisher. It's like a Selena de Sol or something. It's a cool move. I like it. Ooh. It's one of those where the other guy has most of the momentum and has to do all the work, so you try not to think about it too hard. And this is just another snap, dragon suplex, bam, Both guys sell it well.
Yeah,
and
the guy giving it's just like falls.
I think that needs to be part of it. Like you're both walking away harmed. Very,
you're taking some friendly fire just to get that move off.
Like the previous one where I said is he hits his knee and he wipes out. I hope to Christ, because we don't see it in the GIF. I hope to Christ he's sold it and he stayed down for quite a bit. And you let the crowd do their holy shit, and this is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And you take your 30 seconds plus to get back to your feet and get it going. But if he it could be that spot in the match where they're hitting the finisher counter, and it's like that speedy part of near the finish, and that shit's that's so hard to do. And the last one.
Oh, there's one more.
It wasn't. No.
Oh, okay.
It's back to the power bombs.
Yeah, JD says that wrestling shirts is Lex Luger's gimmick because Greg said that Steiner he wears a shirt when he wrestles. He's got that disappearing chest. He's got that sunken, disappearing whole Iron Man chest thing going on, and that makes sense. And then JD obviously referencing the Lex Luger having trouble getting in and out of the shirt.
Yeah, I saw. I think it was a Ring of Honor thing. I think it was around WrestleMania weekend where Scott Steiner tagged with somebody for a Ring of Honor show, and he did wrestle in a shirt. And this is how you know he's old. Besides the shirt, he did a Frankensteiner. I mean, the man's like fucking 60 years old. But like he, gets up to let's hang on to me. I'll hang on to you. I'm gonna get up there. All right. And he does a Frankensteiner.
It used to just be like lickety split, like one fluid motion.
Yeah, and I mean it wasn't great. It was like a sideshow thing, and everybody's losing their mind. It was such a nostalgia, novelty thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like we saw Scott Steiner. And even the announcers are like, it's 2018, and Scott Steiner's doing Frankensteiners at Ring of Honor. And it's just, it wasn't the same. I don't like him doing that. You wrestle in a shirt, but you suplex people, you stiff people, you put them in that Steiner recliner, and you fucking wrench back harder than you should, and you fucking call people fat. You do that.
They're fat asses. Yeah, don't do the screwdriver anymore, though, because I would worry about you dropping someone on their head at this point.
Yeah, that.
Gotta have a chest.
Maybe we should do that for a show, for a gift show, where the top 10 most dangerous, irresponsible moves in professional wrestling.
That was a doozy.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, the Steiner screwdriver. I'll catch you in. No, you won't.
Right. You're up for a suplex. I'm going to catch you and pile drive you.
He didn't even try, and he probably could because he's super strong when he was trying those moves, but he just kind of didn't. Fucking hell. All right.
That was a lot of wrestling.
Yes, I'm happy. It's wrestling season. Yeah. That's the thing. It's always wrestling season.
I mentioned that house show I went to with Shawn Michaels and Razor.
Yeah.
What's cool is you can go on these websites now and look up the exact show you went to. And
with results or video?
Results, not with video. I mean, these are just house shows. But you can see the results and it shows the gate, right? So I've only seen two WWF events live. And they were both house shows. Both at Rosemont Horizon. So pre-Allstate Arena, but same building. Okay, so the one with Shawn and Razor, that was the main event. It was a ladder match before WrestleMania. Brett wrestled IRS. Macho Man and Lex Luger tagged against Crush and... God, I don't remember who was tagging with Crush. But... like the big names on this card: Yokozuna, Tatanka, maybe not the Steiner brothers. It was like Beverly Brothers against the Smoking Guns or something, or maybe the Quebecers against the Smoking Guns. The gate was like 7,500 people paid. Okay, I went to another house show in 1989 when I was little. Now, back in the day, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but in the late 80s, the WWF was so crazy popular, they would run 3 house show circuits. They'd have an A, a B, and a C show. So somehow I managed to see a show where the main event was Big Boss Man and Hulk Hogan in a cage, Bad News Brown and Macho Man, who was the champion, both heel, were like in a street fight match. Bret Hart, who wasn't huge yet, but it was like Bret Hart and man, I forgot who he wrestled. But like Mr. Perfect was on the card, Rick Rude was on the card. They were all at this one show. I'm like, what was the B show? Ultimate Warrior? And, you know, Coco Beware? Like, what was going on in the B show? That gate paid. So the other one I said was 7,500. That gate, the paid attendance was 17,900 at that one. And the total, like, attendance was 19,000 people at a house show in 1989.
All in.
That's crazy.
They were all in. Jeez.
That's nuts. And I was going through all of the other Rosemont Horizon house shows, and like there was another one that was like 18,000 in 1986 or something, and I'm like, ooh, who's on that one? Not like Tito Santana. It's like not Hogan, no Macho Man, no Jake the Snake.
A Von Erich.
A living.
Fantastic. Well, that's the thing you didn't like. Back then, you probably didn't know, and the card is subject to change. So like, a lot of those people probably thought like, "Oh, you're gonna see Hogan and this and that," and you get stuck with the fucking Texas Tornado.
So I feel really lucky that I got to see that '89 card, and I can still remember some of it. Like I can remember we were sitting way up high. There was an old lady in front of me with a Hulk Rules bandana on. She was like grandma old. Too.
God damn! What venue was that?
Rosemont Horizon.
I think I might have actually, I possibly might have been at that one. But this is the only like bad experience. I almost blocked this out of my memory, like grade school and high school. But no, it was a WWF house show. But we had floor seats, and I was very excited about that. But it was kind of far back. And I'm very little, so I was a child. So I couldn't see. And to make matters worse, there was a big fucking beam in the way. So it was just a non-starter. And I don't remember a single thing from that show except for I was probably a crabby little piece of shit.
Oh, yeah.
I imagine I was a terror because they've taken this from me. I don't remember a goddamn thing about it. And I do remember there was a shit ton of people, a large crowd, but I couldn't tell you a single fucking thing because I couldn't see it.
Yeah, I can remember bits and pieces of it. And not like when I go back and I look at the card, I don't remember. I think it was like Rick Rude and Hercules or something. I remember Hercules like swinging the chain. I remember seeing that as a little kid and being like, oh, that's so cool. But the main thing I remember is the Hogan match because he bled in the match. And I remember, and the finish was like he handcuffed, Slick tried to handcuff him or something. He ends up handcuffing Big Boss Man and then climbing out over the top of Big Blue.
Jeez.
So I don't even really remember the Macho Man match. And I looked and it was like 4 minutes. Like the Macho Man match was like 4 minutes long with Bad News Brown.
Yeah. He's going to do what he does.
Who was apparently mad that Zeus got that SummerSlam match against Hogan. He's like, hey, I'm a giant black heel. Can I work a program with Hogan since I'm really a wrestler? No holds barred.
Yeah, it's like, were you in No Holds Barred? No.
I could have been if you cast me in the movie.
See, but both of my eyes work, piece of shit.
He can watch my left shoulder and my right shoulder at the same time. Oh, God. Oh, wrestling. 40 minutes of wrestling. It was due. We were due.
Yeah. You mentioned that movie. For whatever reason, my brain went to Suburban Commando, which is a movie I haven't seen in a long time. And if anybody's in here, I think we've got a handful of people here. Does that movie hold up? Does Suburban Commando hold up in any way, either pure quality or the nostalgia watch or the irony viewing? Because I want to watch it, you know, because I'm sure I Was Frozen Today still kills. I was frozen today. Like, it's got a good cast, and I know the Undertaker pops up. I always marked out so hard when the Undertaker, and then he gets kicked in the dick or something. It's like, you're gonna die, or whatever the fuck. And I was like, it's still the Undertaker. It's fine. We're having a good time. I need so that's gonna be on my rewatch list. Maybe check that out from the old library. See if it's on Prime.
Yeah, he how does he end up on Earth? That's what I can't remember. It's like
I think he ran out of space gas.
Yeah, it's not like he doesn't like go to Earth on purpose.
No, it's just like, you only have this much, so you better get somewhere. And he's like, what's this little piece of shit planet? It'll have to do. Oh, I'm so stuffed on the sushi. I just fucked your wife, brother.
You're gonna get us
you don't
thrown
have any
off the air.
cameras in here, do you?
You're gonna get us thrown off the air, Dale.
Ooh. Yeah, he's a litigious man. He fucking killed what was it, Gawker? Fucking killed him.
Good night. Drop that leg on him. See ya.
Yeah,
Getting up from that one.
Who saw that coming? Like, TMZ's been around forever. All these trash sites around forever. If you fuck with Hulk Hogan, oh bad. He invented politics. He's gonna destroy you.
Yeah, they're gone.
H.
Got him.
So they're doing reshoots in the Halloween film.
Oh, really?
And this
is
uncommon.
there more to this?
I mean, it's not uncommon. Which
right.
The article I was reading made sure to let us know about comingsoon.net. It's just funny because they're just reporting what Bloody Disgusting's reporting. Yeah, movies do reshoots, that's fine, but they don't normally reshoot the ending after test screenings are bad.
Wait, Dale, they never test screened it. What do you mean test screenings were bad?
John Carpenter.
I can't see the ending. What do you mean?
Yeah, I mean, if this is true, obviously there probably fucking was one, and and it'll come out what the original ending was, what they reshot it to be. I'm going to be very upset.
They'll probably release the original ending on DVD or something.
That's actually
DVD.
Very true. Yeah,
I'm so fucking old.
Blu-ray.
Not even that anymore.
Blu-ray.
It's in the sky. It comes out of the sky. Ow.
But I'm just hoping that they don't listen to that test audience too much and redo everything to give people what they think they want. You know, because I'm just gonna be annoyed when I find out what the original ending is. I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds better and appropriate for this movie. But I can see how that would upset people. So it's like with PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. The fog was really cool in that game. Rain is really cool in that game. But people fucking complained, so they just took it out.
I know,
because people were whining and crying, and it's a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction. That's my concern with this.
I don't like that they do things like that. You know, let's have some of the randomness to it. It's not Counter-Strike. Let's keep some of those random elements to it.
So we will see with Halloween. I had to Google it. I was like, I haven't talked about Halloween in a while.
Reshot
Let me just Google,
ending.
And they reshot the ending.
Yeah, you're right. That probably doesn't happen too much.
Not too often.
What can you even do at that point?
Now it's just a dance number at the end. It's just a dance.
Your movie's building toward the end for the entire movie. How much can you reshoot to even make a difference,
It might just, it could be as simple as he lives, he dies, she lives, she dies.
That makes sense.
You know,
That
or
makes sense.
maybe it was too ambiguous, and they make it more concrete, or vice versa.
Yeah, not ambiguous enough.
Yeah, they're like, well, don't hit us over the head with it. You know, there might be something there. There might be something there. And it's funny, the article said, it's like, yeah, it's like this happens all the time in the film industry.
Don't be afraid.
Especially with Blumhouse movies. And I was like, you're not making me feel better.
You're not helping. Oh, so, okay. It is May, end of May, almost June. It's coming out in October. It just seems like a tight schedule to have to reshoot the ending. I'm not saying they don't have time to do it or whatever, but like, you were cutting it this close where you're like, oh, you're right. I don't like the ending either. Test audience.
Yeah. I mean, luckily for them, there's probably not a lot of CGI that needs to be worked on for the next 5 months, but still.
You never know. Maybe there is.
Make your movie. Now they're not making their movie anymore. These guys who are like, oh, we love the franchise and we're going to do it right. We're just let us make our movie. Well, studio says no to that. You no longer get to make your movie. Not with your ending. Poor guys.
So I wonder how much. Okay, so John Carpenter is like, okay, I like this. I'll executive produce it. But do you think he gave them a substantial amount of input? Or do you think he read it and was like, I like this. I'll help make it? Like, they probably weren't bouncing ideas off of him at that point, right? They'd already had it written, and he sort of jumped on board. So it's not really his baby. He just sort of said, yeah, that's what I would have done. How much is the check?
Cool.
That's what I would have done.
And a lot of it, it can read well on the page. Like, wow, you can picture it, but then you see it on the screen and it doesn't play as well as we thought. Or maybe we couldn't shoot it a certain way and we didn't get the footage a certain way, and it's just lacking. So I mean, they might actually just be like reshooting like the same scene. We're just reshooting the same scene so it looks cooler and it's more clear what we're doing, and it's got a bigger pop of an ending. And it's like maybe it was like a limp, and they're limping to the finish line and say, okay, no, we need to film it in a way where it's. So I mean, they could just be refilming the same scene, but who knows? Probably. So not.
On the page, it's the same. They just let's shoot it a different way, so it has a different impact. But we're not actually changing what happens.
That's the possibility.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm sure it'll all come out.
I can't wait. It's nice to have.
Even if this is terrible, I'm excited to see how terrible it is or anything. I'm happy.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. It's. And this is a great transition to Solo, which comes out next week. The Han Solo movie, everybody, is coming. And this is another one where I'm going to see it. I got Movie Pass because it exists this month. And either it's going to be a piece of dog shit, like I think it probably is going to be from all the problems they've been having with the actor who can't act, and they had to change directors midstream. Like,
always
it was
a
recipe.
good sign.
It's just kind of a recipe for a shit burger. So I'm either going to go in and I'm just going to have a nice little laugh, or maybe Ron Howard came in and fucking saved the day and made it a good Han Solo movie. Either way, I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna have a good time with Solo, just like I will with Halloween in 5 months. I'm gonna have a good time reuniting with my old friend Michael Myers, my grandpa buddy Michael Myers.
78 years old.
I fucking heard with this Solo movie though, like the director thing's nuts, and the chick from Game of Thrones, the Dragon Lady,
Emilia Clarke.
Yes, she's in it, and she was doing that Jamie Lee Curtis damage control, and she's like, oh, they changed directors, and I said, really? I can't. That's not great. Oh, we got Ron Howard, and Ron came in, and blah blah blah. She's really talking it up, saying, oh, this is the best thing in the world. Which really sucks for the guys who got shit canned. Like, oh, those assholes are gone. Like,
yeah, you kind of don't want to say anything at that point. You're like, at what point is you trying to make it better? You're just making it worse. Like, stop talking so much about it.
No, I mean, she's trying to sell the movie over like these guys' feelings and reputation, which she like.
Oh,
She
no,
doesn't
I
give
get
a
that.
fuck.
But it's
You
like
know.
maybe people won't ask about what it was like changing everything in the middle of shooting, and I could just talk about the movie.
Yeah, yeah, but she was, she was working overtime on it. She's just putting it over like, oh, we got Ron Howard, and he is so good, and he was asking us all these things, and
He was
like,
asking
who
us, like,
are you?
Hey, when are we
Where's
shooting?
Gary? What does this camera do?
When do we
Is
go to
this
the
a 3D
moon?
movie?
When do we come back from the moon?
What scene can I put my brother in?
Oh God.
But I heard this as well, and I don't know if it's true. I hope to Christ it is, because it's just so fucking stupid.
This is about Solo still?
Yeah, still Solo.
Okay.
Do you remember Rogue One, the end of Rogue One?
Yes.
Princess Leia, CGI Princess Leia.
Yes, I do.
This
I thought you meant the cool part of the end of Rogue
Oh,
One.
no. But don't know if it's true. Apparently, possibly, allegedly, they're doing some CGI stuff to this kid's face to make him look more like Harrison Ford. I don't know what that means. If they just give him like red eyes, like he's stoned out of his mind or something.
Wait a minute. So they're like, hey, we got to start making him look like Harrison Ford by the end of a movie?
I hope it's.
What, does he get plastic surgery? Oh my God. I hope to God that's true.
Yeah, I can't.
I hope that's true.
To see it.
Here's what I was talking about this with a friend of ours, and I don't have any interest in seeing this, so feel free to spoil it when you see it, because spoilers, I know what happens to the rest of Han Solo's life, so you can't really spoil that much. And that's sort of my problem. Whereas Marvel is making things that tie in and then they build to the future somewhat. The Star Wars movies are just like, hey, what can we cram in there where we can have some old characters that people love? Like, what can we shoehorn in there? Can we make a movie where Darth Vader cuts people to ribbons at the end? Can we make a movie where Han Solo's the main character but looks nothing like Harrison Ford but is relatively the same age as the first time we see him? Like, now that we want to do a young Obi Wan movie, you did those. You did 3 of them already. Yeah. No, but what happened in the 1 year in between this and this? He was in the desert making sure Luke didn't die. Like, they're really trying hard.
Yeah, and like you said, the end game of it. It's like when I'm always complaining about the mindless Act 3 action scene.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, I know how this ends. The hero's not going to die. Can we just get to the part where he's 1v1ing the villain and we actually get something of relevance here? I mean, like, then these are whole movies where you don't get that because he's like, I know he survives. What you're going to introduce a character, and I'm going to say, does that character exist in those movies? No, they're going to be dead then.
Yeah, they're either dead or inconsequential. They're either dead or they do so little in this one that I don't bother having to see them in the next 5.
Yeah.
It's not even like you could say, well, maybe you're wrong. Maybe you think they won't kill this character off, but they will. No, because he's literally in the next 3 movies. And so is Chewie. Like, I know these guys are going to be fine the whole time. But what about his dad or whatever? I don't care.
Yeah, what about Woody Harrelson?
I mean,
Star Wars needs more Woody.
If you're doing a Han Solo as a teenager, I'd buy it more. He's an adult. He's young, but what is he, 30 in the first Star Wars?
Yeah,
we discussed this. I don't want to beat this up too much, but it's not.
No, it's a good subject, and it makes me think of the Star Trek movies where it's like a young Kirk, and all the it's like the young gang, but those movies kind of work.
The one-man gang.
So you ask yourself why? Like, what story can you tell that's just not a waste of fucking time?
Right. you can't make it not seem like a cash grab. Is the problem? Especially when I heard young Obi-Wan. I'm like, are you kidding me? How much younger? He's pretty young in episode 1. He's kind of young in episode 2. He's not young anymore in episode 3. So what you mean is the movie, the 10 years in between episodes 3 and 4, you already crammed a movie in there already. It's called Rogue One. How many more goddamn movies are you going to put in between episodes 3 and 4? How many more, Dale?
And Han Solo. We're doing a young Han Solo. They come to us, Dale, Jim, we want you to do young Han Solo. And we say, all right, it's not really necessary, but I think it wouldn't take us long to come up with about 500 ideas. Because it's like, you got bounty hunters, you got spice missions, you got all the lore that's already exists with them. What can we pull from? The Kessel Run, all this kind of shit. Like we'd come up with a million things. Then they come to us, Jim and Dale. We want you to do Obi-Wan when he's on Tatooine between 3 and 4. And it's like, what are we gonna do, Jim?
It's a desert planet. He's got to stay close to Luke and make sure he doesn't die.
Is he? So what we would come up with? Somebody comes to try to kill Luke, and he thwarts them. He's fighting off Tusken Raiders because he knows so much about the Raiders and all the little guys, Jawas. Like he knows everything about these guys. So we have to establish. We'd have to show why he knows these things. So he's going to have some run-ins with those fellas. And that's it. That's literally it.
Here's what else you're ruining. You want me to believe that Obi-Wan goes from Ewan McGregor and in like 17 years looks like Alec Guinness. So what are you going to pick here? You're going to put them both together? You're going to like do a composite of them?
That's a subplot that we do where he gets into heavy drug use and just ages rapidly.
He starts drinking every night.
And his face just kind of withers.
That's a name I haven't heard since Bad Movie Idea thing came out. Yeah. There's nothing for him to do there. He is doing it. That's his mission, to be there and protect Luke. So if you send him away at all, you're sort of making him. He's like in dereliction of duty, you know?
Damn it! We'd see him at the cantina. We'd see him with Luke's buddy. Get the power converters. I'm supposed to meet whatever his buddy's name is. He's supposed to meet his buddy. We're gonna see that character. I bet you all the money in the world. And it's like, what do we do? Like, do we put Obi-Wan in like costumes where he's just like, I'm just here checking on not Luke. I'm just here to do.
And nothing.
And he turns and gives a pile driver.
Nothing of consequence can happen because Darth Vader doesn't know Luke's there yet.
No, that's a game. That's the end of the game.
Right. If Darth Vader, if he somehow confronts Darth Vader about Luke, it can't be on Tatooine because then he would have known. Like, you can't do anything.
You can't do anything.
You've already done them. You've already done 3 movies with Obi-Wan in it. Can you just make a new one? What happened between Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back? Not a whole lot. I mean, it couldn't have been anything major.
It's like a day in the life of Chewbacca.
Yeah, like, what are you going to do? Some, like, one camera, no cut experimental art movie? Like, this is one continuous shot of some guy that met Luke once in between Empire and Jedi. Yeah.
I'd love to see what the villain situation and the antagonist situation would be for this Obi-Wan movie. And I definitely love because there's going to be a love subplot, and that's going to be fantastic. He's going to have love in the desert. He's going to get the sand all up in there.
Oh yeah, and then that's how Rey's born.
We'll see. It's just funny. It's just funny that the one character that you could go a million places and have some cool shit, Han Solo, and looks like they kind of fucked it up. But now everyone's getting super excited about the one character, Obi-Wan, where it's like, there's nothing to do.
You've done all of that.
They
already did it.
Nothing to do. All right, let's plug it up and get out of here. Wednesday's our last day for rec league basketball.
It is.
I'm happy and I'm sad at the same time because I don't have to see that guy anymore. The rando teammate is dead to me forever after Wednesday.
No, summer league, bruh.
Yeah, I'm all right. But I am gonna miss the balling. So come on out and cheer us in the. We're in the finals. We're in the semifinals. You know, we got fast track to the semifinals. Not a lot of people know this.
That is technically correct. That is a very good point. Remind me next week to tell you the story about Teddy's baseball glove, because it was quite a situation, and I forgot to bring it up. We got a little wrestling heavy today, but let me tell you about Teddy's baseball glove next week.
All right, that'll come next week. This was episode 20. Thanks for listening and watching. I'm Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Woo-teeny!